Today, I'm going to answer your burning question. Do I need to buy an express pass to visit Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Japan? The answer is no. In this video, I'm going to share a secret of what you could do instead, and it can save you a whole lot of money. Go ahead and purchase just a regular ticket, which is referred to as a one-day studio pass. I will link the Klook website below where you can purchase those tickets online. We've been using Klook for years to book attractions and theme parks throughout Asia, and we've had a good experience with them. Just make sure you select a date on the calendar, and then that will give you the options of which types of tickets are available for that day. Once you have your ticket for Universal Studios Japan, this is the big trick. We've learned that the park generally opens 1 hour before the listed opening time. So if opening time is listed as 9 a.m., then get to the park by 7:30 a.m. and there's a good chance the gate will actually open at 8 a.m. Or if opening time is listed as 10 a.m., get there by 8:30 in the morning and the park will likely open their gates at 9 a.m. What's so important about this is if you get into the park before the technical opening time, you can just run straight to Super Nintendo World and they will not yet be restricting people entering. You can go right in. You won't be required yet to have an area-timed entry ticket. There's also a good chance the lines for the rides will be super short if you're one of the first people there. Before visiting the park, it's a good idea to study the map so you know exactly how to get to Super Nintendo World. Chances are you will not be the only one power walking your way there. I'm actually going to share 3 options with you of how you can save your money and avoid buying an express pass. The first one is to arrive at the park an hour and a half early. The second option is something that's available on Klook. They have an option to buy the one-day studio pass plus an area-timed entry ticket for Super Nintendo World. Now this gives you a designated time slot of when you can line up to get into Super Nintendo World. Say maybe your slot would be 2 p.m. so you can enjoy the rest of Universal Studios Japan before that. This option costs just a little bit more on Klook than the standard one-day pass. It's about US $18 additional to also pre-book your area-timed entry ticket for Super Nintendo World. For instance, maybe you'll be given a 2 p.m. time slot to get into Super Nintendo World, and this would give you earlier in the day to enjoy the rest of the park. This would especially be a great idea if you don't think you're going to be able to make it to the park an hour and a half early. Now just to clarify, once you are already in the park, you can book these timed area tickets for free without paying anything extra. You just use the USJ app on your phone. We have a separate video that goes into detail of how to do that. So on the day of your visit, once you're already in the park, if you want to visit either Nintendo World or Harry Potter, you can simply use the app on your phone to try to get one of those timed area tickets. However, they might be all out, you might end up on the waiting list, or worse, maybe not even make it onto the waiting list at all. So if you want to absolutely guarantee that you will get a timed entry slot, you can go ahead and pre-book that, pay a little bit extra ahead of time when you're booking your ticket, and then you know you will be able to make it into Super Nintendo World. This will ensure that you will be able to get into the area of Super Nintendo World. However, it won't necessarily do anything to help you get onto the rides faster. Once you're into Universal Studios Japan, I do recommend using the USJ app on your phone to book attraction-timed tickets so you can go ahead and sign up for the rides you want to get on, such as Yoshi's Adventure or Mario Kart. The slowest option is to just show up and wait in line for a ride. A little bit faster option is if you've already booked that attraction time ticket, so you have a certain time slot to show up and wait for the ride. And if you really do want the fastest possible, that's when you'd fork over that extra money for an express pass, so you'd have a faster line to get on the rides. However, the express pass is quite expensive. Prices vary depending on what day you visit the park, but for example, a one-day pass may cost around US $65, whereas an express pass that you would buy in addition to that one-day pass that includes area-timed entry ticket for Nintendo World and one of the rides in Nintendo World as well, can run $100 to $140 per person. So by buying that, you've more than doubled your cost of admission into the park. There's a third option I'd like to suggest as well. You might want to consider getting a 2-day studio pass. This would allow you to visit in a much more relaxed manner, not be so hurried, and really get to see and do everything you'd like to do there. There is so much to do, you could fill up 2 days easily. And you could combine this along with our other tip of arriving at the park an hour and a half early to really maximize what you can see and do at Universal Studios. A 2-day pass tends to cost about twice as much as a 1-day pass, but that is still less than purchasing a 1-day pass plus an express pass. And you have so much more time to enjoy everything. So those are our 3 tips. Save your $100, don't buy an express pass. Instead, number 1, you could just arrive at the park an hour and a half early and hope that it does open 1 hour early. Number 2, on Klook, you could buy the 1-day pass plus the area timed entry for Super Nintendo World, so you know you will have a designated time to go there. Or number 3, you could go ahead and buy a 2-day pass and really enjoy the park. If you'd like more tips for visiting Universal Studios Japan, please watch our previous must-see video. It's packed with tips. And please subscribe for more on traveling the world, especially for families traveling with kids.